upper bracket final men here ready to bring their thoughts, including Gods, who's joined us at the panel alongside Black and the Has. Gods, you all recovered from that last game?
Yeah, I'm pumped.
That was a long series, but enjoyable, I guess.
Yeah, drawn out series. VP kind of got pushed a little bit, but definitely looking forward to more great Dota. These two main stage days have delivered so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, actually, how we've ended up with these two teams in particular, because they've played 6 best-of-3 or more series throughout the season. They're 3-3 in series, and they're 9-9 in games in those matches. That couldn't have been set up any better.
Yeah, and I think coming into the tournament, we were all talking about VP and LGD as being kind of the 1-2, the favorites to make it to the grand finals. Liquid has definitely scrambled that picture a little bit, looking terrific in here. They have now... The level of success that Liquid have this season, I love that intro video because it is just unprecedented for us seeing a TI champion have this kind of success the following season. They have won 105 games in DPC LAN play this year, 105 and 66. Only team even close, of course, is VP at 95 and 45. But the grit and the determination that Liquid has displayed just grinding through this season and the level of results they put up, incredible.
Yeah, it is astonishing when you look back at their record and you think from the very first one, the very first minor, they won that obviously at Star Ladder and then went on a tear. Every single tournament, for 9 tournaments in a row, they finished in the top 4 until DAC, funnily, out here in Shanghai a couple of months ago. And then even worse, a couple of weeks ago in Birmingham, was their worst result of the entire season. That doesn't bode well, does it?
And they've kind of turned a new page, I guess, coming to this event because they are looking like they're in top-tier form again. So... excited to see Liquid. I had a question for Black. If you won TI, won over 100 games at DPC, would you still shave your own head? Matu shaves his own head. He doesn't go to a barber.
That's what I was wondering. How do you just wake up and say, I'm going to shave my head right now?
And
like what kind of
And then he does
emotion?
it himself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he does. That is next
That's
level
determination.
Goes to the grocery store and buys the shaver
whenever he
himself.
needs one. And that's what I call efficient, right?
But like, what kind of emotion like bursts out of you to like make yourself shave your head?
That's what makes a TI champion.
Yeah.
Maybe he watched Vin Diesel. He was like, I want to be that guy.
Maybe that's how far he went. On the other side of this, LGD, how have you rated their season? Because it didn't start off as well as Liquid's, but it's ended on fire, hasn't it?
Well, I think a lot of us starting, the Chinese Dota season doesn't really start until January, February at the earliest, and March in most cases. And I think a lot of people, even when Vici and VCJ Thunder were having that level of success, we're all kind of looking at LGD and going, this roster has some pretty impressive talent on it, but it isn't until the last 6-8 weeks that they've really risen to the forefront, and they look like a dominant team right now. I mean, anybody's list of top 3 at TI right now is going to include LGD.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it is a star-studded roster, Black, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the new LGD is... Everybody kind of didn't really believe in Xnova at first.
Yeah.
The new addition, they thought he's just like a weakling that came in from C. Well, that's what I thought about Afu too, and he proved them wrong.
Yeah, I think
very stable.
Kind of star-sided. I think that comes from maybe in the mid lane, but if anything, they've gone away from that. I think they've said, look, we're not going to do what like the EGs and Secrets do. We're going to pick up some unproven guys. Well, Secret have started to do this. Yeah. They brought in Chalice, who nobody knew. Xnova, this guy was not a star in his previous teams. He was just an everyday 5-position support player on the WG Unity team that played the Boston Major. So if anything, they took the opposite approach. It was like, let's get less stars, fewer egos, build this team around maybe, and boom, success.
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it? But when you've got a captain like FY, isn't there always the potential to be a great team? Is he not one of the best leaders there is out there?
I think so. I mean, Black, having played with him, can probably speak to this better than I can. But I just love the fact that they've brought in these two guys in very clearly defined roles. Xnova, he's not the best team fight 5 position out there, but he is the best lane secure. I mean, he will do whatever he has to do so that Ame does not feel that pressure in lane. There's a reason that Ame puts up these ridiculous farming statistics game after game. And Chalice, he's the money ball player in the off-lane right now. That doing less is more. He's the guy that has helped bring back these utility builds where we're building Pipe and Crimson Guard every game. Absolutely love the way he facilitates that team. You can't play with 3 greedy cores right now.
But I think where LGD is now elevated, they play is they've given Chalice actually better games.
Yeah.
He's had some standout games on Axe. This tournament, he's had Bloodseeker. He's played Mirana. He's been like one of the true carries in like half the games LGD are playing. So the fact they're no longer sacrificing, LGD are actually looking even better now.
Well, I think it's added a dimension to the team because we've seen in a couple games he can still play that sacrificial role. But like when we talk about flex value in the draft, it's not all about coming from who's going to be core, who's going to be support. It's who's going to get the farm, who's going to be given priority in the lanes, who are you protecting. And I think LGD with that added dimension becomes that much more hard to play and draft against.
One of the positions I personally wanted to bring up, because it's got two of my favourite players in it, is the mid lane. I've been very selfish here and picked out this mid lane matchup purely because these two players are fantastic on either side. I don't... It's difficult as a fan to kind of put into words just how good these two players have been over the last 12 months. Maybe I know has had moments, hasn't he, Alan, of downward trend in terms of how he's played, but mainly because of the way that the game has changed and he hasn't changed with it. But now that it's coming back to the 1v1, he's suddenly looking good again.
Yeah, I think it's been about the pieces around him, and it's been about maybe even about the level of commitment that he's shown. But I still remember first time I saw this guy in person was at TI5, and he played a Leshrac game in the group stage where he was beyond godlike 9 minutes in. Nobody else on either side of the map had a kill. This guy is capable of just owning and taking over games in a way that few others we've ever seen. Well, one of those few others is the guy that you see
Absolutely.
on the left here.
Yeah, he's on the other side, Gods, isn't it? I mean, what is there to say about this man that hasn't already been said? There's not much left, is there?
Does he play middle or safe lane or off lane?
Or support?
Well,
because he's done all of those things.
Yeah, the list of great things about these players, I think I'd highlight probably, for me, my favorite point is that they're both so versatile with their hero pool. That's why these guys are at the top of their game, some of the most coveted star players out there, because they're not pigeonholed into one lane, they're not pigeonholed into a small group of 5 to 10 heroes. You save their pick for last, there's a list of 30, 40 heroes they can play. Hasn't played a hero in 6 months, but it fits the draft, Captain will pick it for him. They'll play amazing on it.
I would give a little edge to Miracle, like a very slight edge, just because he plays on all 3 lanes, whereas maybe it's usually just set on that mid lane.
Sure.
He's also won a TI.
Yeah, of course. But we're just like talking about 1v1 individual skill.
But if you want to talk, you have to win a TI.
Yeah,
Black.
That is true. Isn't that what you have to know? That's what I got told.
Maybe I should get a Bulldog.
Yeah.
According to Loda, you got to win a land before you talk.
I did that.
That's true. You have won a land.
To TI. Gods was with me. Gods knew where I was going with that.
The numbers on what these guys are saying, those two, not surprisingly, #1 and #2 in kills per minute in the tournament, right around 1 kill every 3 minutes, which is the best of the best that you see on LAN. And Miracle, you were saying versatility, 22 different heroes played in his last 38 professional games.
Yeah, can't wait to just see them go head-to-head and see what happens between these two. In the meantime, while we're waiting for the first draft, why don't we check in with our community question? We're trying to squeeze in as many as we can of these. And apparently we've got a couple for Black, so let's take these ones. At Black, after playing Dota in every region, which is the easiest?
So the question is competitively or matchmaking?
It's your question.
So competitively,
the
easiest for me was China. As in, like, not to beat my opponents, but because I felt like I'm getting a lot better, you know? It was just easier for myself to fight myself.
That's really cool.
Yeah, well rescued.
Because, like, in Europe, it always felt like I was kind of, like, stagnating. But as soon as I went to China, I, like, found this new version of myself because I had to improve. If not, I would be on my next flight home already.
Right.
So
did you go from, like, being like an average farmer to being a really good farmer in China?
Or you could say rice farmer. Rice, China.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, no.
You got it?
Yeah, so I was thinking cornfields, thinking, what difference does that make?
Could you explain that again? No.
Yeah.
No, but, yeah, like, that is that. And competitively, I would say Europe, because other than Alliance, the scene was never really very competitive at the time when I played in Europe. Right. So there was, like, maybe 1, 2 teams that could take games off each other.
It was very interchangeable at the time as well, wasn't it? Like, teams were just,
there was no stable roster at all.
Then disappearing, and then other players were forming teams.
It was like Alliance and Navi, and the rest would all just juggle around.
Yeah, very difficult. All right, can we squeeze one more in? Don't know if we can. We can squeeze one more in. All right, okay.
All right.
Can there be a successful Dota 2 team with a captain who is not a support? That's a good question. We've got a few of those here. There's a few of those teams here.
Yeah, I think it happened in the past too, where Burning used to be captain. I mean, they didn't win the tournament, but they got like top 4. I think you can call it successful.
Yep.
for me personally, it's always easier if a support does it because he's gonna place the wards. He knows where you want to play around.
Right.
It's just like kind of the job of the position 5 to like secure a vision game.
Do you think
that's why he has the big picture.
Yeah. Do you think the support also has a bit more time in the game to kind of just sit back a little bit and see the
definitely.
game?
Yeah, because you don't have to focus as much on lane.
Right.
Like if you're a mid laner, there's no way you can be like, we have to do this, ward here, ward there, and then we de-ward here, we do this, smoke there. It's like, it's possible, it's just very hard, and usually it takes like a toll on the player.
More time and also less pressure. The people who are pushing your lanes, making the plays are generally your cores. The support is the guy who, sits back and instructs them or follows them around often.
Yeah.
Alan, are you on board with that, or do you think a core can be a successful a champion, a TI champion, for instance?
I guess the only thing I'd add to that is that captain can mean multiple things. There are teams that have handled drafting and shot calling differently that have split up those duties. I do think, as well, the addition of coaches this year kind of changes that equation. We're seeing, especially in multiple Chinese teams, with their coach as drafter. So I think that maybe changes the calculus a little bit. But yeah, I mean, in the traditional mode of drafting and shot calling is handled by the same player, I think it's very hard for that to be anybody other than a 5, maybe a 4.
Just to finish up on a question, I think in the early game, it's usually the supports making the big calls. Then mid-late game, it's more the mid and carry that should take over because they're really strong. They should know what they're able to do and what they're not able to do.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's take one more then, a sneaky one. What one thing so far for you makes this major the most super of them all, Alan?
I got to say, to me, I have never been in an event where this many records were set and broken. I mean, I know it's a cop-out answer because that's what I do, but when you talk about, one game, Paparazzi starts the tournament by getting like the 4th most kills on Gyrocopter in 5,700 games and caps it off by getting the highest GPM ever on Monkey King. And just how well those kinds of record stats have meshed with the various team storylines, how the different teams have both gotten better at the tournament and obviously building themselves looking forward to TI. It's just been a great event. The level of play has been outstanding.
Yeah, Cods?
Can I take the easy one?
Oh, you can go. I was going to leave you to the hardest one.
No.
You want a challenge normally?
I know what the easy one is.
Yeah, the format.
The format?
The format is the easiest because not even TI has best of 3 loser bracket.
All the way through.
All the way through. This tournament has not had a single best of 1 group stage or elimination bracket.
We nearly had a best of 1 between you and Henrik over game 3.
That is true.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that didn't need to be done.
They were really lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, Bolek was really lucky there was no game 3. Because the other day we played basketball, 1v1, and I beat him. So he had to pay.
I heard you beat him at tennis as well. Can you just leave him alone? The
I mean,
poor guy.
Are you bullying Bulldog?
No, he asked me to play. I said, sure, if you're willing to lose. He was really salty.
Crazy.
Salty.
It's a competitive game.
Crazy. Gods, we got 30 seconds. What's your highlight?
I think for me, the fact that all the top teams have shown up and just played as well as they have. This is like the first event, really where the top 4 teams in the DPC, the clear top 4 in the world, finish in the top 4.
Yeah.
And we're watching them play a lot of Dota. That has been the best part.
It's been very high quality as well, isn't it? I mean, even that last series, I know, ended a bit suddenly, but nevertheless, it was good. Right, time to introduce you to our 2 upper bracket finalists.
The final stop on a successful campaign. This team has defended their honor. They've won DPC Minors, they've won TI, and they only need one more title to complete their trophy cabinet, a Majors title. Runners-up in Moscow, Shanghai, and Manila. The moment to make history has arrived. Come on stage, Team Liquid! After an unremarkable start to the pro circuit, this Chinese organization took drastic measures to change their fate and recruited 2 young players. The impact was instant, and since then, they've gone on a warpath, resulting in not 1, but 2 major titles, back to back. Heavy hitters at the Supermajor, they are on fire right now. Welcome on stage, PSG.LGD.
Both teams have already qualified for the international. That's not in dispute right now. What is in dispute, though, is these 2 going head-to-head for a place in the grand final of the Supermajor, the final major and the final tournament of the season as well. Both already won more than $1 million this season. LGD, of course, already won 2 majors as well. It seems strange saying that, Alan, at this late stage after they've only played in 4 all season.
Absolutely, and that's something I kind of did a double take when they did some of the media material for Birmingham, and one of the Liquid players brought that up as a milestone they hadn't reached. I was like, really? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You, with all the success they've had, never won a major. But, I mean, some history here. GH and Miracle, the highest career win percentage of over 500 players with 150 or more career games. And if LGD win this series, FY will win his 950th career game. He's at 948 right now. That'll be 7th all time.
It's been a fantastic career, and I'm sure it doesn't want to end there. With these boys in such good form, Gods, at the end of this long season, winning 2 of the last 3 majors and finishing 2nd in the other one, they kind of come into this as favourites, but we've had this dodging thing going on with Virtus Pro, where Virtus Pro have won a major. That was because LGD weren't there. LGD won a major because Virtus Pro weren't there. This is the one that's supposed to answer all the questions. But here we are in the upper bracket final with Liquid in there.
Still time in the lower bracket, but I think Liquid are like, guys, like, why are we talking about VP versus
exactly.
LGD?
They're like, hello? Do you remember us?
Yeah, like TI7. Anyone remember this event? Kuro definitely is kind of point out, it's hard to go 100% every single event. You play a long season. There's been a lot of events this year. It's a grueling DPC, and that's why Liquid has shown up at some events and not as much at others. They had great success at minors, but they didn't really get those titles at any majors yet, and that's definitely something they want.
Do you think that the reason that we've ended up with the top 4, I mean, there's lots of reasons, but is one of the reasons we've ended up with the top 4 teams in the world in the final 4 spots at this Supermajor? Is it because it's the last one for all of these guys? It's like they can just throw everything at this now. It doesn't matter about how tired I am or how jet-lagged we are or whatever, because we've got a month off, effectively, after this.
Absolutely. They're going all out. They know they have a break coming up. Teams who have done well in like the last tournaments for TI have historically done very well at TI as well, so these teams are not holding back. They also know new patches are coming, so there's no need to hold back picks, strats, etc., because Dota's going to change over the next 6 weeks.
2 more patches, right? I believe.
I think that's right.
I
One
think that's
before
the general consensus.
and one after qualifiers.
Usually winning a big event before TI was bad because it was the same patch and everybody would analyze you. But now winning this event, it's just like a big morale
I think
boost.
that was sort of TI5 maybe with Secret, wasn't it? That they went into that thinking that they were going to win everything, and then the patch came, and then it totally changed
but
everything.
Since then, like TI6 was Wings, they won tournaments right before TI, and last year Liquid won the last tournament before TI. So I think there's definitely much more of an inclination to play events leading up to TI as warm-up.
And I think we've never had a time where we've had 2 months off between the end of the last tournament and TI before.
We will have 1 BTS, but not DPC season, of course.
Yeah,
I think that'll be a really good event, not least of which because some of these teams will want to go and play, and they'll want to play hard.
For sure,
Sure.
And VP is defending champion still. Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They won like 4 in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Stop
It's a dead tournament.
Yeah.
I think you guys just write them a checkout now before they turn up, don't you?
Exactly. It's like ESL, like they show up to an ESL major.
ESL,
it's like, all right,
sign it off.
Here's your Mercedes as well.
Trophies in the trunk.
Their entry form, they say, which of your 5 players wants this Mercedes?
Can we get all your driving licenses now, please, just in case any of you win another Mercedes?
Who are the 2 who haven't won yet?
Pasha.
Pasha
Pasha
and Ramses.
And Ramses, unbelievable.
Yeah, Ramses has
That
weird.
is actually ridiculous that you think these two didn't. Because they all deserved an MVP as well.
Yep.
It's okay. Got 2 more ASL events coming.
Let's do it.
Plenty on the line right now. The Supermajor, $1.5 million, the richest of all the majors, with the most amount of points as well. Though I guess now, points are kind of irrelevant. Although these two are still fighting, Alan, for second place. In that, I don't know if that really matters to either of them too much.
No, I don't think so. I think winning matters
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it's more. I mean, money's nice, but I think it's more. Each of these two teams has a lot of pride and wants a win.
And LGD playing in front of the Chinese home crowd, that's definitely an added level of pressure, but also expectations for them. They're going to want to do well in front of the home crowd, as any team would. And I think much more for them, there is a bit of extra pressure.
And that would be 3 out of the last 4 majors for them of the season that they would have won as well. And I know that finishing on 3 majors was they've set that as a goal early on in the season, which you would think was astonishing with the way that they played the first half of the season. Likewise, over on the other side, Virtus Pro will play the loser of this one for the lower bracket final. They're looking at trying to win 5 this season,
That's
which
just
just sounds crazy, doesn't it?
Most ever, I believe, right?
It's already the most ever. They have
Oh,
4.
is it already?
Yeah, they have
Oh.
5 DPC titles
Okay, OG
already
was
this
3.
season. 1 minor and
I
4
think
majors.
they're tied with OG, right?
I thought
OG
OG
also.
Yeah,
four.
I
well, they
thought
have
OG was
4
4.
over the 2 seasons. Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Right.
But 4 in terms of the most in one season. That's the most anyone's
It's
ever.
the first
obviously
ever
we-
season,
I think
though.
I was going to say we have. Well, I think 3
This
is
is
the
like-
most we could ever win in one season anyway.
This is like season 1. So yeah.
effectively, yes, yes. But
No, I think over the last couple of events too, LGD have shown that they can win changing their hero pool. That's been the limitation for a lot of the Chinese teams in the last couple of years. Is that when the big heroes that they're using, like Ame's Terrorblade, for example, gets nerfed, they kind of fall off a cliff. LGD has made that adjustment. Ame's playing different heroes. I like the fact that they've. I always say for a team to be a favorite at TI, I have to see them get figured out and make that adjustment.
Right.
And I think LGD, this is the next best thing.
certainly going to be a tough ask for Liquid to come back into this, but they've got plenty of experience, as you said, the international champions against the double major champions of LGD. We're going to work our way towards the draft over the next few minutes. And Black, I wanted to get your thoughts on how they prepare for that. What goes through their minds in this moment right now when they're in the booth and there's that last couple of minutes and the coach is doing his final checks and everyone else is giving you instructions and all you really want to do is just play, isn't it?
At first, before you get into the game, or at least from a personal experience, you're kind of nervous, kind of like maybe even like sweaty hands, like all these being nervous symptoms, you know. But as soon as the draft starts, or at least ends, you kind of get into the zone, and all of that just fades away, and you just like hear your teammates. Even when there's really loud cheering, you kind of hear it in the background, but it's not really loud, even though it is really loud, you know. It just kind of fades out, the adrenaline kicks in and everything. And if it's a really long series, I've had that before, I think it was like 3 or 4 hours, like all 3 games in total. You are really exhausted after, like mentally exhausted. You're like, wow, did I just like become the smartest man in the world and solve some mystery, a riddle or whatever, you know?
Or
Just-
if you
you
lose,
just-
it doesn't feel that good.
It doesn't feel that good.
No.
Now, if you lose, you're actually just demoralized.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
I was speaking to Matumba Man outside just before this series, just to get his thought. I said to him, "Are you guys okay?" Yeah, we're playing really well. We think we're playing really well. We'll find out in in an hour or so. He said, and I said to him, "Do you still get nervous?" And he was like, "Yeah." Before the game, I still get butterflies in the tummy,
exactly.
and then you get excited about it. But I think it's a nervous excitement rather than like an adrenaline rush, effectively, and then it just goes away. He said it just disappears. We don't even realise we're in a booth half the time. Is that how you felt as well?
Yeah, well, after I played some tournaments. Of course, the first TI I played it, I was super nervous the entire tournament long. But then the second one, a lot better already, and then all the following lands, it got better and better.
You mentioned the nerves, like, and it goes away once you're in game, I guess. Because at that point, you're just like in a game of Dota.
Exactly, you're like just in the zone. But
you've done that a million times. You played a million Dota games.
But if you're not used to it, like at first, let's say it's like your first LAN or second LAN, the crowd can really like get to you, you know? Let's say you make a bad play or you get completely outplayed, and the crowd suddenly is like, whoa! Obviously, they're cheering for the other guy and against you, you know? You're like, oh no, what did I do? But like as time passes, you get used to it, and then you make the good plays and they cheer for you, and you're like, oh yeah. But of course, teammates always over crowd.
What's it like for you, Gods? when you go out into a crowd like that. You commentated in the big arenas.
It's great. Like building off that energy is always fantastic, and that's I think something that motivates a lot of the players, drives them, because you feel it. You know it matters that much more when you're playing in front of a live crowd than like the early stages of the event when you're in your closed off hotel rooms.
All right, we're at the first draft in this best of 3 upper bracket final between LGD and Liquid. No surprise to see the Wisp ban this time around, although it is LGD that banned it. And
second pick.
Yeah, there's no way this was getting through. Not this series.
A little interesting to me already. Liquid playing off the Dire side. You go back over the last 3 months, they are 34-15 on the Radiant side, only 12-16 on the Dire side. They're very Radiant favored as a team.
It's because they're all good people and happy people.
They like the colorful sides of the
Thanks,
map.
Black. Seems good.
Top level 2000 IQ analysis.
So far, bans that'll make pretty much common sense. The Brewmaster, the kind of slightly unusual ban, but Chalice has been playing a lot of this, and it's been something LGD have built some very scary teamfight drafts around.
Are you surprised Naga's not banned? Because LGD love their Naga.
I guess
Liquid's first picked it too, twice in the last 4 games.
Okay, Liquid might first pick the Naga.
Could be a challenge.
I think
LGD had
Naga's
to ban it.
Okay, and so the Night Stalker is still on the table for Liquid.
Nightstalk is in, Skyrath is in.
Yeah, the Lycan is still in, which we've seen getting banned, and that hero has been insane this tournament.
Yeah,
Chalice Lycan.
Well, I always feel like leaving Lycan in the pool favors the team with first pick, because second picking that Lycan is like in Liquid's position is so strong because you can then ban out some counters immediately. Whereas if you pick it in LGD's shoes, Liquid have 4 heroes to respond.
If Liquid doesn't pick it though, LGD could just go like Axe Skyrath, and you don't really want to pick Lycan into it necessarily.
But that's fine, because then you know you don't want to play Lycan. Like
The Wind Ranger.
Hey.
They did this in both games against Newbie, the first overall pick Wind Ranger.
As support.
This is something, they're generally going to run it in the support position.
Can.
GH.
Don't have to. It's usually GH. But they don't have to.
So are they going to respond Skyrath? Or even Zeus? Seen that a lot recently. Honestly, Zeus just kind of became like the flavor of the tournament. Nobody really picked it, and it was seen like 3 times in a row, and then people started picking it up more and more. Even first phasing it.
Yeah, all LGD's typical first pick heroes are gone. They have, if you go back, they have shown first phase Gyro and first phase DP, although first phase Gyro has really looked so heavily punished.
Yeah, I would not like a Gyro pick, particularly when Wind Ranger's already like a kind of direct laning counter to Gyro with the range to Ras. It's a tough hero to match up against.
I tell you one that has squeaked through is the Bounty.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where LG is very good, and I'm always concerned by the pick because of the weak lanes, but...
Bloodseeker first too.
So I wondered, we've seen this hero sort of creeping forward in the draft.
But I think LGD is one of the only teams that can do it though, because they do run it in all 3 positions.
Lanes,
A lot of people, or a lot of teams just run it in 2 positions, so it's not as flexible.
And we were talking about the power of the potential 4th overall pick Lycan. Well, that Bloodseeker nips that in the bud almost by itself.
Absolutely, I like that for that point as well. And again, with the support, I think you pick that flexible core and then get a support. Doesn't matter if you know what role that support's going to be in. You're not really revealing too much with this.
I think
technically, it's still everything is open because Jakiro has been running the offlane quite a bit.
It has, but I think, to me, Jakiro is the support that Xnova really, to me, first found his legs with in terms of started to play at that elite safe lane support level.
Not Bane?
No, I think Xnova's Jakiro is better than his Bane. I really do.
Fair enough. Well, Liquid seems to think otherwise.
Look, Bane overall, you ban that hero for sure.
Yeah, fair enough. The Doom Wind Ranger, a very aggressive dual lane.
That just sounds like the off lane of hell right there. Like you don't go near that lane, but at least in Bloodseeker, if you run a safe lane, you've got some sustained Jakiro strong lane support as well. But I don't think any dual lane really beats a Doom Wind Ranger lane.
I think this is going to be one of those games where they just put Bloodseeker safe lane on Chalice, and they go like the aggro dual lane with Ami, so they can secure his farm.
And then get some kind of flashier mid that can be like your initiating type hero for
Ember,
maybe.
Storm, whatever.
Also, we're saying that they did show Miracle on the Doom in Birmingham.
They did?
So that is a possibility as the draft goes on. Still some flex value here at both positions for Liquid.
Let's see LGD target Mato a bit with the Visage ban.
Lycan banned out by Liquid. quite a good hero against Doom. Can just run him down very easily.
Yes,
Very
and
low armor.
And they've decidedly don't want to run the hero, considering there's the Bloodseeker already picked up.
Might as well get rid of it. Oh, he looks like a killer right now.
10 seconds.
Matu
remaining.
looks ready to play. He's like, all right,
Oh, yeah.
get me in there. Get me in.
5 seconds.
Put me in,
remaining.
coach. That's what he's saying right now. He's ready.
The combo they ran, I think both
LGD's
games was
turn
with the
to
Bloodseeker
bat.
was with Ember, because
Yeah.
the Blood Rage Ember just looked
That's insane.
insane. Yeah, it
Yes.
really did.
But there's still Zeus, who can get amplified by a lot.
Yeah. I think if you're Liquid, you're like, we've got a couple good lockdowns for Ember already. Doom Wind Ranger, like we've got Shackle, we've got Doom. Are we really scared of an Ember?
Yes, because it's maybe
Yeah.
Ember.
I think you are a bit scared of it, yeah.
But
you
10
prepare for it. You don't say, oh, we've got counter. If you're leaving in the pool, you're saying, look, if they pick Ember, we know what we
5
want and how we're going to deal with it.
yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting. Although a lot of that is predicated on that. That is a support Wind Ranger, as we
Druid.
all expect. It's predicated on the ability of that Wind Ranger to get that Blink Dagger up. That lockdown doesn't feel nearly as reliable without the early mobility item, either
Yep.
the Yules or the Blink.
You're not really picking for the lockdown, though. It's like the same reason you pick Sky and
Sure.
Juice in that 4 position. It's just for the lane
Just the
dominance.
efficiency of the lane.
Yeah,
sure.
eventually she does become an initiator.
yeah
but-
mid lane is like a bonus. First you want to crush the lanes, and then once mid game
10
reaches,
seconds
you have like this
remaining.
blink initiation.
That's like step 2 of your
Yeah.
3-step process to winning games.
5
Though it's not
seconds
100%
remaining.
reliable,
True.
can be very hit or miss. LGD. They have second pick, right? LGD has second pick, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
they're
they
probably
have, to
gonna.
show, they have to show their picks first or in the second phase.
So they're probably gonna look to last pick, maybe Zero. I think that's what they
Yeah.
usually
Or
try
Typically,
to
yes,
do.
almost
leave the
always.
Bloodseeker flexible. I mean, throw it to the very end.
Yeah, they don't want to show 2 cores now for sure.
Yeah. They might just get something for FY here.
Rubik is not that good,
No.
but then again, Rubik is always decent. It's never really bad.
It's just like not the strongest laner, which is the concern. You've got like a Rubik and a Bloodseeker. Like I just don't feel like those heroes are going to mesh well together.
But
I'd
that-
rather see like the Zeus type picks
Liquid's
Yeah.
turn to pick.
or Dark
Dark
Willow.
Willow.
Wow.
That's the
That's
first.
a first for the entire tournament.
101 heroes picked.
Why do you
And
think they picked that?
105 picked or banned.
Well, you can rapture a guy, you can ult that guy, and he just runs away and dies.
True.
Yeah.
The synergy. Yeah. I was like, because it's kind of, it feels like Dark Willow is being replaced by Zeus, Skywrath, and etc. But
I still think Zeus might be a bit stronger, but you have 2 very good combos. Is you can Blood Rage the Dark Willow. She becomes damage immune with a W, basically. Well, almost. They don't really have much AoE. Then you can take out a guy by yourself, almost single-handedly, and then of course you can ult the Rapture target. I think it has quite nice synergy, actually, if you
That's
think
great.
about it.
That reminds me a lot of the. Remember when Mineski was running Puck Venge, things like that. The combination of the 2 heroes that just makes the one ultimate game winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're up to 102 picked and 105 picked or banned. 3 that haven't been picked that have been banned. Sven, Techies, and Spirit Breaker.
FY Dark Willow should be really good. It's one of the best position 4 scaling heroes.
Oh wow,
Chen.
they are going to go for the Chen. Okay. I thought this more. I thought this might be something more like a Tusk for the save potential on the Rupture. But we're
Well,
going to go
it's a
Chen and try and run the lanes over.
it's a send back.
And you can
too.
send
It
back
is
too.
a- It is a save.
Yeah, okay,
I think
fair
it's
enough. Fair enough.
This hero's getting ruptured, and once they're ruptured, they really are just out of that team fight because they can't move. They're going to get maybe
10
terrorized by
seconds
Dark
remaining.
Willow, start taking damage. So it's a guaranteed save, and we've seen
5
teams really
seconds
struggle to
remaining.
deal with the send back because it's so much harder to get Dispel with the changes to Diffusal Blade.
Yeah. What? So they need a carry that can somewhat deal
Well, they're looking for the.
with the
Well, they may look for Chalice's hero first too, depending. They want to leave Bloodseeker open between mid and safe lane.
And what I'm guessing right now they'll do is put the Bloodseeker safe lane to absorb the pressure, the Chalice,
Yep.
and then
Willow plus
Willow
1 offlane.
plus
Liquid's turn
This
to
hero.
pick.
Gyro
Okay,
Costume.
it's Gyro.
They will do Bloodseeker. I mean, again, flexible because they could pick Chalice's hero last, or they could put Bloodseeker in the 3 position role.
Yeah.
I like Gyro against Chen after level 6. Before level 6, I feel Chen hard counters Gyrocopter, but once you reach level 6 on a Gyro, it turns like completely
Yeah,
for me.
The Gyro versus like a potential
10
Doom Wind Ranger
seconds
lane sounds
remaining.
really awful too. I
Yeah.
think the Bloodseeker going safe lane is, whether it's Chalice or Ame
5
playing it, just
seconds
makes
remaining.
way more sense than putting Gyro there.
You need to dodge it for sure.
Yeah.
Like if that Wind Ranger buys an Orb of Venom, you get Infernal Bladed.
You're just a
And
third
that
health.
is,
Yeah,
by
yeah,
the
half
way,
health,
that is
half health,
exactly
yeah.
what they did the last time they ran this core combo. Remember, they ran the Chalice Bloodseeker in the safe lane, put Ame as the offlane farmer on the gyrocopter and then picked a middle Ember Spirit for maybe.
Yeah.
We've spoken about it many times. The offlane is actually the safer lane in many of the games. And a lot of teams are starting to realize it too, putting their carry there, like the true farmer.
What Liquid looking for? Maybe.
I feel like you need a dead lane hero from the
Life
All
Stealer. I like it.
That'll
It
work.
counters pretty much all the heroes except Bloodseeker. It's really good against Gyrocopter. Dark Willow doesn't do anything to you, and neither does Jakiro.
I don't even mind Lifestealer versus Bloodseeker that much.
Yeah, I
Like, you
think
don't
that could
counter
be
him,
decent.
but Rupture sounds bad because it goes through a rage and stuff, but you're a hero that if you get Ruptured, you stand there and you don't just die. If they come to you, Bloodseeker runs at you,
10
try to kill you,
seconds
you rage and you fight them back. So unlike a lot of heroes, getting Ruptured isn't the end of your
Or
game.
if you're close enough to a creep, you can always just eat a little damage and then infest.
Yeah.
True.
And you just have a massive HP pool anyway, so you can run for quite a while if you ever have to. I really like this lifesteal, but they currently lack a taxi, so we might be looking at something like a Storm Spirit for Miracle.
I like the Storm pick a lot. I was going to talk about that. That's something that
If
we
they
haven't
pick-
seen Liquid run him on lately, but you like this Storm versus Bloodseeker matchup a lot. I know why.
But it's a bit scary to pick Storm last when the enemy hasn't shown their mid yet. Typically, Storm is always going to lose his mid lane. Invoker. I would have loved to see it.
Invoker
yeah, I
versus
would've too.
Bloodseeker is like insane burst potential. Same. Invoker matches up against both those two LGD cores very well.
But Invoker versus Bloodseeker, the lane is impossible.
Sure.
It is
absolutely.
impossible. You
Yeah,
cannot
good
do
luck
anything.
getting a last hit.
Yeah, you're probably going to be 0-0 for like 5 minutes. It is impossible.
You sunstrike the range creep, man. There's one CS.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, even that deals less damage than your right click as Bloodseeker. That's how sad it is.
What a Liquid one here now instead. The Storm you mentioned does sound very strong here. They could potentially win Ranger mid, but
No, they could pick the Ember Spirit for Miracle.
They could, but as we said, a lot of counters in the pool. Last pick is probably going to go to maybe. I mean,
and maybe you can even play mid gyros. The crazy
play
thing
mid
with
gyro,
the flexibility here with LGD's draft.
it's not a hero he excels at, though. For me, he excels
No.
at the flashy playmakers, mobility kind of carries, or mid heroes rather.
But both Ame and maybe got plenty of games on Gyro in the last few months, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's just Gyro mid is seen less and less because he gets nerfed more and more. So he's usually just like boxed into that side lane position. What are you gonna ban,
You
Liquid?
feel like LGD need more objective taking? Or is that
Well,
a no?
LGD has Jakiro for it, I suppose.
Jack,
He
yeah.
kind of makes up for it. So they are allowed to pick something like a Storm or Ember if they really want to.
You don't need the objective taking as much if you've got like decent late game. That's what we've
Okay.
seen. A lot of LGD's
That's
draft,
true.
they haven't like the draft when they 2-0'd VP, they had no power
Tinker.
push. at all.
Tinker. All right.
They
So?
banned Zeus, yeah. So
There's still a Storm Spirit, though.
yeah, I mean to answer your question, like what are they going to ban? They're going to ban something that counters Miracle's hero their last
Yeah.
pick.
I thought they would go for a Storm to have a Taxi, but they're just going to play like Taxi-less, which is fine. I guess a Doom can buy a Blink later on, then you have a Taxi.
Yep, or Shadowblade even, whatever it may be.
But
Wind
then-
Ranger will have a.
Yeah, they need a
Blink
Tinker
Shackle.
counter auto. Invoker is gone, so it has to be a Storm.
Storm or Ember. Or
Quap.
Quap.
That is very brave.
Oh, man.
I
Is
like
that
him on Quap, but it is very brave.
by brave, you mean that's...
It's going to
how-
be interesting.
Okay, okay.
They're playing
Well,
for the
how, do
late
you,
game.
how,
I
do you,
feel.
how do you break down that Tinker Quap lane, though, now?
Well, Quap definitely loses to Tinker 1v1.
Okay.
But Quap, of course, you can't rotate on Quap with a Chen. That's one upside.
Okay, so it's a little bit of a dead lane. All right.
But just generally 1v1, a Tinker should always farm more than a
that's,
Quap.
that's what I thought. So I don't understand why, with last overall pick, you would pick maybe in something that doesn't have a 1v1 advantage against Miracle.
It's not all about the 1v1. It's about how it fits the draft. It's a hero that's
Well,
going
sure,
to scale
sure.
pretty decently late game. I like Quap's potential, like level 25 scaling with this lineup. You've got Quap, Bloodseeker, and Gyro, 3 cores that if you get late
yeah.
game, your lineup is going to be far superior.
That being said, though, last time he played Tinker, he didn't get caught by anyone.
Right.
Like, he would just blink so precisely. I'm scared because they have nothing to get on top of him right now.
All right. Well, our Twitter predictions were 68-32 out there on Twitter land. So
For
what do you
whom?
guys to Liquid?
To Liquid?
Yes. So in
I think
2
the same
words,
thing right
which
now.
way?
Liquid.
Liquid.
Team Liquid.
I like it. Black. Well
2
done.
words.
LGD.
I like it. I think we've run out of syllables there, but God's managed to squeeze his team in, luckily. A mixture of views here at the panel on a very interesting draft for our first game. Let's head over to our commentary team who are ready to bring you that game. It is only Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, a very exciting series to end the penultimate day here at the Dota 2 Supermajor. LGD, PSG.LGD versus Team Liquid. With myself, Pixel, and of course, Fog. We've just seen the 2 drafts. We've got a Tinker coming out, and right in response, we're getting the Somnus Queen of Pain. Giannis, what are we reckoning?
That's what we got the FY Willow.
Sure.
Is this the first Willow?
I
don't think I got to see Willow at all.
It is the first Willow here.
Okay.
But see, I don't forget the dark times of the Dark Willow beforehand. This is a hero that is broken. Okay. This hero is going to do horrible things. It's got a Bloodseeker behind it. It's not going to be fun to watch. This hero's just going to go around one-shotting poor old supports.
It got buffed too.
I can't wait for this.
It just got buffed last patch, so more damage.
Wait.
On the Bedlam.
They buffed this hero?
Uh-huh. The cooldown's reduced, the duration is increased.
My goodness, they buffed her.
The damage
They actually did the madman.
The damage got changed in 7.14 though, so it does less damage over a longer period. At different levels, of course.
Oh.
First level's still the same.
If only you had a spell, you know, where you go into a Shadow Realm and you can't get hit, and then, yeah, you've got a Bloodseeker as well, Blood Raging you.
Yeah.
A Blood Raged Dark Willow. Wow,
so
that's something to watch out for this game, and especially seeing as it is FY on the Willow, as you say.
Yep.
He's been having a fantastic land so far here in Shanghai.
And it looks like the panel, spot on. It is going to be Ame being put in that off lane. They're trying to avoid the Doom plus Wind Ranger. It's been this case for PSG.LGD for quite a bit. Is they pick the Bloodseeker, they put Chalice on it. He's just like he's kind of the sack role. He tends to get pretty farmed anyway. But
and what about the Somnus Queen of Pain anyway? Because the panel did seem a little sort of umming and ahhing about this pick. Do you like it here for LGD to finish it off, or do you think this is sort of them going, yeah, we don't really know what to play, let's throw a Queen of Pain in because Somnus is confident on it?
I think this might be the only team that I'm okay with Queen of Pain. Okay. But it's still a Queen of Pain, so it can get punished. However, you look at the draft, there's not the craziest amount of ways to catch. It's the Wind Ranger as well as the Doom. Besides that, it could be quite difficult, so they could look to scale into those later stages. I do believe that's what LGD is trying to do here in bottom.
Chalice.
Has to use the Fairy Fire just in case.
He does, yeah. Getting right-click down. Same time up top, a bit of a go on to Superman. He is level 2. He's holding onto his skill point, camping as the Rage if he needs to, and he certainly will.
Yeah, I think I think like the Queen of Pain, they want to have something that can scale into the later stages, and now they have this. They have the setup for a Tricore. They have Bloodseeker, they have Queen of Pain, they have Gyro. While you look at the other side, it's Lifestealer and Tinker. The Doom can scale as well, though, so should be pretty even going into those later stages, but Liquid definitely looking to punish the lanes a bit more here with this Chen pick.
Crow just coming in, starting to harass back Ame and FY just a tad. Trapped down onto FY, a few punches, but FY will be ready to fire back with the Bramble Maze. They'll look for a bit of a chase down. They've got the homing missile onto Kuro. Ready with a hit as well from the Shadow Realm. Kuro in a lot of trouble as LGD will find first blood.
And that's costly. That's your Chen, who wants to be dominating the lanes, and you just died with it first, giving Ame a great start to this game.
And you said, what, giving up the creep as well? That extra bit of gold.
Creep too. It's a lot of experience is the big thing early on that you can give to those side lanes if you do give those big creeps up. Chalice bottom, though. They
are going to chase him down with the Scorched Earth. GH, he's got the level 2. He's going to go with the power shot. Not quite enough. He wants to dive in with the wind run, but he'll hold back. Chalice will be able to fog him behind the tree line, and GH will hold back.
Are forced out of their bottom lane completely. The Jakiro and the Bloodseeker have to take the long walk home.
Oh, well, at least they get a nice time to have a bit of personal time with one another.
Yeah, they're holding hands together.
That's
pretty close. This is the dream for bottom lane. So bottom's going fantastic for Liquid, while top is also not going horrible. But Tumberman's still able to farm. Sure, they lost to Chen, but Ame.
Kuro with the setup.
Blocks.
Tumberman in, he has got the open wounds, and with the chase down with the Rage, he doesn't care about any mazing. But Tumberman able to claim the kill onto Ame with Kuro actually getting the last touch. Look towards FY as well. But he is able to keep his distance. Does also have the Shadow Realm available if he gets gone up on. Mid lane GH, he's looking for the setup. Somnus pretty low at the moment.
He's doing great in this mid matchup right now. Miracle has the 2 points skilled up too.
But the power shot misses!
The hit to break the south.
Was this? I think it was just a Fairy Fire. Yeah. But GH missing that power shot.
Oh no, it was south, sorry.
Oh, it was
It was south,
It was definitely south. Okay. They missed that. That was close to getting that. Miss Somnus. Getting away like he was. Even
oh my goodness.
Still time he's out of the lane.
Yeah, he gets pushed all the way back. And now Miracle's going to catch back up in last hits. All right. This bottom lane is a huge win, though, for Liquid. My control free farming, still putting the pressure on. Other two lanes, kind of even. Liquid coming out a bit ahead because of this, though, having the Lifestealer pretty much being this solo safe lane while the Chen is able to just jungle. So you see Lifestealer's level 4 already in this game.
Halfway again. Lining up Matumba top of this. It's a hard hero to go on between these two with the rage available on Matumba.
Yeah.
Ideally, they want to really be finding Kuroki if Kuroki does reveal himself, but as you say, for the time being, keeping himself to the camps in the jungle.
Should be a pretty good Lifestealer game overall.
Yeah.
The only thing that's really countering it is that Bloodseeker. So should have a pretty decent matchup. And Ame up top.
Superman is going to start a bit of a go again. As they'll be able to move on forward. He does get rooted and he will actually get stunned. So FY punching back at Matumba. In fact, Matumba Man's falling pretty low. They've got the Shadow Realm hit. Matumba Man has got the Rage, ready to counter the hit. And now that was going to mean that FY sort of put himself in a bit of a dodgy position. He's got to be careful. Will be chased down by the army of Kuroki.
There's a blast. And gets him.
Beautiful shot from Kuro.
So something small to point out too is GH in this game is every single time it's coming near the those 2 minute marks, he's checking the runes. I think it's really important that you do that when you have someone like a Tinker versus a Queen of Pain. Quap is all about that rune control because then you're able to snowball that lane even harder. So very good that he's doing that. Bounty runes quickly get claimed, 2 for 2. No hesitation from either side.
Down bottom. Trying to make a bit of attempt onto mind control. They do manage to clip him with the Blood Rite. And Chalice will start to chase him a little bit, but quickly the Scorched Earth comes out. A slam down of the Infernal Blade on Chalice will keep the Bloodseeker at bay. Actually turning with the power shot and trying to slow him down a little bit with the Shackle, but won't quite find the connection, so GH and Mind Control won't look to continue chasing.
Mind Control going for the 0-2-2 build since his hard camp is blocked by a sentry that they had placed down bottom early on. I do believe they even killed the lane ward that was there too, that they had that Liquid had placed to watch where the Bloodseeker was.
Got 2 Satire Tormentors now under the control of Kuro.
Damn, Miracle is not having a great time here. Somnus halfway to 7 already. Having that ulti available, Miracle actually has to hide in the tree lines.
He certainly does. They're already seeing about half health. A quick burst of Somnus could dispatch the Tinker, but he maybe baits Tinker. GH is here intact. GH gets the control of the Shackle Shot at the same time up top. A bit of a go on to Matumba Man. He's trying to run, but inside the Shadow Realm, FY is ready to pop out. Push towards Matumba Man. Matumba Man's got the rage. In fact, with the lifesteal, Matumba Man keeps himself alive.
That's twice now.
Outplaying FY there with some fantastic control with the timing and usage of his rage. Matumba Man is able to outmaneuver Dark Willow, as you say, not just once, but now the second time in that top lane.
Looks like they might actually swap the lanes up a bit here. Ame is level 5, but they've sent FY bottom to try to relieve the pressure a bit. But yeah. You see the Gyro still, look at that farm. 37 last hits, 17 denies, same thing with the Queen of Pain. And they're shutting down Matu a little bit, at least in the last hits, but he's getting those kills to make up for it. Or at least the assists, because Kuro's gotten all the kills.
Yeah, with the 2 points in rage, FY realizing that this is a kill that's not really going to happen between the two of them. So, as you say, this sort of time is much more spent elsewhere on the map.
Mid.
So he gets the setup, looks towards Miracle, he has got the stun. Bramble Maze will be laid down. In fact, Miracle's going to take a wrong turn, step into it, a Sonic Wave from Somnus. Shuts down Miracle on the Tinker, gets him out of the lane, out of the game. At the same time, up top, Kuro was able to get into the face of Ame.
I'm actually surprised that Ame went back up there, because he had no...
He's on his own.
He's completely alone. He has no defensive support play to help him versus a Chen. Gets quickly ran down.
Well, as I say, Kuro's walking around with these 2 Satire Tormentors. That's a fair bit of burst for him to offer.
Sure is, with the 2 points in Penitence too, and they've got the gap closed, because you see Matumba, he went for the 2 points in the open wounds this game. Sure, the cast range only slightly changes, but every little thing matters to close that gap onto Gyro when you're a Lifestealer.
Yeah. I mean, it will be interesting to see what Ame does do when he respawns. Is he just going to look to head up there? Will we see him maybe look to go towards neutral camps? Does he need to call for some sort of backup? Maybe not FY, maybe sort of a switch around with the supports.
I think he can gank bottom. He's level 6, there's the thing on the Gyrocopter, so he can make moves around the map and set up for his team. And yeah, he TP's bottom right away. I think that's the best play. Yes. I think going back top is just, it's too fearsome.
It's suicide.
Right now.
You can't go up there to Lifestealer.
Yeah.
Bottom lane. He's going to be found out. They have got the Wind Run chasing him down, but the slows with the homing missile inbound as well as the Blood Rite. No escape for GH.
Ame tends to like being very involved in the early game with his Gyro. Even if he's having good farm, either way, it's like if he's shut down or if he's having good farm, he's going to try to make those moves around the map. Somnus will be able to claim a rune this time around. GH being dead, unable to actually look for that one.
Kuro up top. Looking for a potential wraparound, as he has now got the Troll Summon as well, but quickly with the Shadow Realm. The net will be dodged by FY. We'll go for the maze, go for the TP out. Do they have a way to cancel it? They do not, with the net already being casted by the Troll Summon and nothing else to cancel that TP.
And the lane swap happens. So they've got this high-level gyro to try to deal with the pressure. Mind control. Phase boots. Still 0 points in Devour.
I mean, even with this lane swap, though, for LG, I mean, Chalice, he's not invincible on this top lane. He's got to be careful himself. If he gets slowed down without any sort of boost from the passive, if the rest of Liquid are pretty healthy, they can dive this man.
Absolutely. The thing is that he can at least farm from a distance, as we just saw there. He can throw the blood right, he can sap some experience, and he's the sack. He is the sacrifice in this game. They want the gyro and the Queen of Pain to be the snowballers.
I mean, it's what looking at the farm, as you say, in mid lane, Somnus jumps in with the help of FY. Miracle will turn with a quick laser, and Somnus gets bursted down low. Shackle shot will not connect, and FY's Shadow Realm hit was not enough to bring Miracle down. So Miracle, he'll go for the TP back to base. He'll be fine. GH does continue to try and chase down FY, but FY has the distance, and neither side will be able to get the claim the kill onto one another's mid laner.
This is one of the first times I've seen LGD. They're playing a lot around the mid lane, but they actually didn't do the double sentry that we talk about a lot. They put sentries on both sides of the river to make sure that they don't have vision on that high ground. The opposing team, that is.
Trying for a bit of a solo play onto Chalice, but even with the creeps, it's not enough. Chalice will be able to keep himself alive, and in fact, FY has come across to try and take some of Kuro's pets away from him. As he looks to beat down onto the Salar Tormentor. He's taken a lot of damage for this FY, as he does get the creep, but it's going to cost him his life. Kuro will punish him.
Kuro has all 5 kills for his team. After giving up that 1 death initially for first blood, he gets mad.
My goodness, indeed. Chen on a mega kill streak. And 10 minutes in.
That was incredibly greedy there by FY. Just really wanting that creep kill, and pays with his life.
And Kuro will be quick to get a new addition to the family as he grabs the Centaur Conqueror.
So it looks like it's going to be early Veil picked up for maybe. His team benefits from it quite a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with sort of the Blood Rage coming into play as well. This is a lot of damage that, at this stage of the game, sure, the problem for them is the fact that the Lifestealer pick seems really good for Liquid.
It's just the Bloodseeker, that counter.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They have to have Chalice sort of look for the play onto Matuma Man if they want to try and attempt to make a go on him. But at the same time, as the panel talked about, there is that save from the Chen that's always going to be able to play, which can get Matuma Man out of those sticky situations. So it will be interesting to see how LGD do sort of focus their efforts to tackle the Matuma Man Lifestealer.
They've got to kite him around in the fights once it gets to that point. But he's going to be very farmed already. Almost has Armlet finished up. Somnus will have Veil done. And Veil, I mean, like I was saying, very good Veil game. Benefits from Gyro, Jakiro, Dark Willow.
Yeah.
All going to be very nice for that.
Well, time to smoke up. Somnus has the Sonic Wave ready to pop. He's also got that Arcane Rune upon him. As top lane, Kuro and GH, they were sort of waiting to see if Chalice pokes his head out, but it isn't going to be the case, and they'll simply just go and reveal themselves as they attempt to go for the tier 1 push. Bottom lane, Mind Control will be held in place by the Bramble Maze. He'll turn with the Doom onto the Gyro, but the damage is already out. With the Bedlam going from FY, they cut down 1. They'll dive in. They need to go for the Deny. They'll get it. X-Nova is there to quickly take Arme's life away from him.
They'll be able to claim the bottom tower as well out of it. The glyph is used. But that's what they did. Like, right, they sent Chalice top. He's got Blood Red. He can at least slow down the push a little bit. Well, his team likes to make plays with that Gyrocopter. But yeah, Ame dying again as that top net worth on his team. 3 deaths already for Gyro. And still top net worth.
It's a close opening, though. It's coming up to 12 minutes in, 4 for 5. Less than a 1k lead for Liquid. And top lane Kuro is coming in again with the wraparound onto Chalice. Chalice goes to the Blood Right, the TP out, but the Centaur Conqueror is there to cancel the TP. No escape for Chalice. He will turn and rupture Kuro as the backup now comes in after Chalice falls. And at least LGD, they should be able to find Kuro in return. And that was a decent amount of gold because that was a Chen on a mega kill streak. So Arme able to pick up a good amount from that pickoff. At the same time, GH and Miracle, they've also rotated in. Matuma Man ready to go again with the rage back up. Slowed down Arme with the open wound, and a quick laser from Miracle will help them claim the life of Arme, but it cost them GH. Matuma Man, he's now out of the rage. He's been terrorized. He's being chased down. Shadow Realm is going to be there from FY, not even needed. As Somnus, Sonic Wave and a jump forward with a scream of pain will burst down Matuma Man. A lot of chaos in that top lane, but at the end of the day, I think LGD is going to be slightly happier.
Yeah, LGD get all these kills. I mean, they're definitely happier. At the same time, the Liquid, they are getting something out of the map. You know, Miracle is farming in the mid lane, Doom as well at bottom, and Ame does die again. Quite a lot of deaths coming out for this Gyro already early on.
That's true.
Very active early game.
4 deaths indeed.
Yeah.
But Somnus, he's at least sort of able to keep that momentum going that he needs to on this snowballing here on the Queen of Pain. He's yet to die. He gets involved at the end, picks up a good chunk of experience and such.
And look at the rune. has the Veil finished up, Treads as well, and oh, the Dream. A regen rune to continue staying on the map, being that presence. So they could look to make some plays. They also have a Shrine available if they'd like to use that for their supports.
Look at this again here. I mean, is there a point you feel? I mean, this feels like both teams doing everything they should.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you're Liquid, you don't want to back up because you see this opportunity to get the kill onto the gyrocopter. You want to keep the fight going. But then at the end of the day, it's sort of Somnus, his last play finishes off the fight. He has the Sonic Wave up, and there's always going to be the time where, bam, you're going to lose your cause. But Man, he's out of rage. They've got the control of the Terrorize. There's no escape as this Lifestealer.
Yep. There's just both teams responding quite heavily, and Miracle just being like, I'm out. Like, you guys we're gonna lose 3 heroes, but I need to make sure that I don't die. I need to get Boots to travel at a decent timing, because he has been slowed down a bit.
Yeah, what sort of progress we're looking at the moment? What, 1,200 gold towards the Boots of Travel recipe at 12 minutes in. So, I mean, as you said, this is not going to be the fastest timing at all on a Tinker.
He did buy items in between, though. He went for Soul Ring, he's got Raindrops, a couple little things in between. So it does slow that down, because his levels are still good. It's level 9. Queen of Pain level 11, of course, because of just having a cleaner game overall.
Yeah, and because it pretty much was left to a 1v1 matchup as a whole, the Tinker's always expected to have a hard time right in that lane. The Queen of Pain is going to come out on top.
Or would you? It can go both ways in that matchup.
So you'd say this is actually just Somnus being Somnus?
Yep.
As you say, one of the players that you respect the Queen of Pain. This is the player that you feel comfortable seeing him bring it out in situations like this.
Yeah, Panel was saying, Tinker beats the lane, but Tinker even had a rotation coming in from the Wind Ranger, right? GH came and did the power shot and forced the Queen of Pain back all the way to the base, and still maybe was able to take over it. Yeah. So very impressive, but expected from it, maybe. And that regen rune, the full Veil plus Treads being delivered for the Queen of Pain. This is the dream timing for this hero to just really take over and just keep making moves around the map.
Yeah, so much space is going to be there for heroes like Arme and Chalice to really sort of get themselves to the point where they're looking to become more active in the team fights. I mean, even as we've seen, Arme has tried to be so, but he has been dying a fair few times. And looks like with the build, he's got the phase, the drums, and he will be queuing up the Maelstrom yet. So
Full
next.
greed.
So no sort of BKB, which we do see tends to be the default build really from Gyros this tournament, getting that BKB before that major damage on.
Yeah, Maelstrom, BKB, Aghanims is probably the build he wants to go for. They want to take it to the later stage. They just want to be farming.
But it was surprising. Look at that quick reaction there from FY. As soon as he sees something, he's into the Shadow Realm, and he's out. The 3 members of Liquid, Kuro, GH, and Mind Control, they were setting up for that, but FY reacting there with lightning speed.
I'm glad to see Willow. I thought this hero was being underpicked, of course. Hasn't been picked,
Dude, this hero's broke. Why aren't people playing this? Honestly, why aren't people playing this hero?
I thought it was going to get picked more. Miracle mid.
He's gone. That's how you do it. You run him down with a Bedlam. And they are heading back to base. No chance for the Tinker there. This hero fundamentally, it's
incredible.
It does so many things right. And there was a period where teams were picking it, and as you say, for some reason they stopped.
It got like some nerfs and everything, but then it got rebuffed again too. So I did think that I was going to see it a bit more. FY having an excellent time so far. 1 and 3, but still making a lot of impact on the map. And we have some cool combos that we could see in fruition. They have a lot of ways, like that AoE damage, the AoE team fight that could be coming out from LGD is pretty substantial in comparison to Liquid's. They've got Bramble, they've got Bloodbright, they've got Jakiro, Call Down. It's going to make like the zoning inside of those team fights very difficult for Liquid to maneuver around. Liquid a lot more single target oriented. It's pretty much the Tinker is their AoE team fight, if you want to call it that. But it will have the Boots of Travel finished. So almost level 12 on the Tinker too. They've had some stacks. Cleans up the camp right before it respawns as well. Perfect timing. Mind Control.
I'm going to make an attempt onto him, but even with the 3 of them, it's pretty tanky. GH will be able to get the Shackle shot in return. As Mind Control will look to now potentially head back in. Chalice puts the Rupture on him, but he's still got the Scourge Delve going. Goes for the TP out. The Terrorize not going to be there quite in time, as Mind Control will be able to get away with that TP.
Liquid very content with just playing the farm game here. Tinker as well as the Lifestealer. We see Matu doing the usual Matumba Man build, Armlet into Desolator.
Ramble Maze. To Kuro, Curse Crown as well. They'll try for the Ice Path, won't quite clip him, but the Sonic Wave does. In fact, Kuro, he's not going to live. FY does finish him, but it costs him his life as FY trades himself for Kuro. They've laid the missile connects onto G8. Somnus jumping to the trial side, trying to burst down those creeps before Miracle was able to boost the travel in. Look at the rockets out as Liquid now able to start to push LGD back. As PSG.LGD will back themselves away. Again, these sort of trades back and forth.
And I was clicking on FY, and I was like, yeah, he's farming. He's dying a couple times, but he's still very high level. I looked, and I'm like, oh my god, he's almost level 10, and Chalice is level 8 on Bloodseeker. So they're really prioritizing the farm and levels of that Willow.
Still that double damage rune in the middle lane. Not on the map. It's being eyed up, but Chalice and X-Nova, no interest of having it go onto him. It's level 12. In fact, Matumbaman's going to make it go onto them. He just goes straight forward onto Chalice, and Chalice, he's gone. The double damage rune is still ready to go. He just came a little bit too close to the fire there. Chalice is out. FY. Got to be careful as well. Just rely on the ice path. GH tries to get the shackle shot connection off the creep, but won't quite find it. X-Nova is split away from the rest of his team, though. His Mind Control is able to chase down, get the Infernal Blade hit, and Matumbaman comes in, and again, those last couple of hits under the cover of that double damage rune. Matumbaman actually getting to do a lot with that rune in a situation where it sort of felt like LGD, they didn't need to get those 2 kills to the Lifestealer.
Yeah, they kind of just keep it in trying to defend the tower, but the rest of their team was not ready to fight. They didn't want to. Ame's farming bottom. Somnus as well is just pressuring and farming up top. So giving up some free kills, and you don't want to do that to this Lifestealer, who is the key hero. It really is the key hero in the early game for Liquid. He's going to have a Desolator finished up very soon.
And what about 150 gold? I mean, it's basically there.
Yeah.
It really is.
And their Roche threat could be quite high here, too. They have good protection from the Tinker, and with that Deso and Chen Creeps, they can look at it.
We'll try and set up with the Rupture. Ice Path does hit in as well, but he's a hard hero to go on. He's got the Rage. Sure, it won't help him against the Rupture, but it will stop any sort of follow-up damage coming through from PSG.LGD.
He gets sent home. It's going to full heal. Pick up that Deso. 17 minutes on it.
And suddenly, you know, Miracle's own farm is starting to get rolling. He gets the boost of travel, and sure, the boost of travel not the best time, but he gets the blink very quick after. GH does get jumped upon by Somnus. FY looks for the final hit. The Cursed Crown will hold GH in place, so FY will be able to chase with Somnus, take the kill. In return, FY getting slowed down. He's got the Shadow Realm back up, but he does get surrounded. He will look for Terrorized play, but he ticks out to the Scorched Earth from Mind Control.
The 4 trade. And Ame, by the way, did stop building the Maelstrom for the time being. Is going to go for that BKB just to make sure that they can keep fighting, match the pace that is being played by Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, I as you sort of say, I understand sort of in his position. He wants to see if he can get away with it, going for the Maelstrom.
He still will probably do it afterwards.
Oh, absolutely, but the BKB, definitely a necessity to pick up as his first item. And again, the pace is starting to step up, and with the Blink Dagger, you can expect Miracle to sort of look to more actively play his own part in the team fights.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid right now has a good window to take all these tier 1 towers, because they have Miracle with that early Blink Dagger and boost of travel. He can defend, and looking at LGDs, they do have a bit of struggle actually hitting those buildings in comparison.
It's all pretty much on the Jakira. That's their pushing power.
Liquid have Chen plus Lifestealer with this very early Desolator, where they can look to make plays around in these objectives, this Roshan, these towers. They can really look to capitalize that if they just kill 1 or 2 heroes.
Go wrap around with the smoke from Liquid.
Always nice to have Chen as well with you, Tinker. You can always be joining the fight.
Oh, X-Nova's going to be the one that gets run down. He'll try and pop the Ice Path. It will temporarily stop Matumbaman, but he's got the Rage, moves on forward. And another kill to be claimed. 12 to 10, slowly but surely. It's still just a 1k lead for Liquid, but as you say, with their heroes, with their lineups, with the way they're playing, you can expect this lead to begin to grow in favor of Liquid.
Yeah, it's all about just this map control that they'll be able to get, and now it's really hard to contest this Roche when you're playing versus a Tinker.
How do you get in there?
Miracle's just going to start dropping marches there.
Maybe Somnus can go for some sort of crazy play with the Sonic Wave.
They're starting. I mean, my control is dropping pretty low. The Hand of God is up for Kuro.
Somnus is looking to prioritize the bounty runes. Understandable, but no one's looking towards this pit. They're now TPing over, but it's going to be a little too late as Liquid, they'll be able to finish it and claim the Aegis for Matumbaman. No involvement there from PSG.LGD around the Roche pit.
All it took was 1 kill, a Jakiro kill, for them to go into that Roche pit. So with that medallion finish, with that Deso, more than enough damage.
On the high ground, they are setting up onto Mind Control. Look at the Ice Path, and straight away they chase in the power of the Bedlam, the Sonic Wave. They're bursting a lot down onto Mind Control for this kill. The Hanagol comes out. Mind Control, he's actually still alive. Is he going to live? No, he will fall. But the 7 spin there for the Dooms get laid down onto the Queen of Pain. They've already lost FY. They've already lost X-Nova. They're going to lose Somnus as well, as there's no escape for him. And now the chase is even there onto Chalice. Do they have a way to cancel the TP? They do. GH with the shackle shot sets up for a 4. So as quickly as they take Roche and the Aegis, Liquid get handed to them a team fight as PSG.LGD try and they blow everything onto Mind Control. Sure, they kill him, but it cost them 4 heroes and pretty much all of their ultimates.
He tanked everything. absolutely everything. His team comes in and clears up, and Ame wasn't in for any of that. They thought it was going to be a quick, easy kill, but Liquid quick to respond again. Not having to wait for any of these like long cooldown ultimates. They're always ready to fight. The only thing they have to wait on is Doom, and they just gave him the perfect situation for it.
That was absolutely. The Quinn playing sort of just walked up and said, please do me. And he certainly did. Top lane. We'll look towards Matuma. He has, of course, got the Aegis. He will be sent back. Shackle Shot holds back the two of them. And Liquid look to disengage.
They almost killed Ame there. If he wasn't sent home, he may have actually died or been forced to use the BKB. I'm loving mind controls build, going for that quick early Vanguard, and even just the casual cloak. That was the biggest thing there for me. The cloak putting in huge value.
Yeah, that with the extra HP for the Vanguard, as you said. That in combination makes for a very tanky Doom at this point of the game.
Somnus setting up bottom for Miracle. Miracle blinks into tree lines. Somnus is looking for him.
He's hunting. Another blink. And TP away. Miracle gets himself out safely. The rest of Liquid were smoked up behind Matuma Man. They are coming in from the side. GH just find the Shackle Shot, leads him with the power shot. FY's got the Shadow Realm and the Burden. You have Chalice being closed upon straight away by Matuma Man as he goes in with the rage, the open wound. They have lost GH in return. Matuma Man quickly jumping into the creep. He does get terrorized as well, allowing Ame to just stand at the front with the Rocket Barrage, beating down onto him. They'll take down the Lifestealer once, but Kuro, he wants this fight to continue going. The Troll Trap onto Ame. They chase down the Gyro. Gyro gets nuked down by the Shadow Tormentor. As Liquid again
Miracle's
taking these fights. That Miracle, he wants to finish these kills off. As you say, X-Nova and FY both incredibly low. Shadow Realm's there going to be there for a little bit to help FY, but Matuma Man gets in range for the open wounds, slows down one. Somnus jumps forward, but there's the send back, getting Miracle out of there. Kuro has the save. Somnus has now blinked into this one. He's got to be careful. He'll turn with the Sonic Wave, trying to burst down Kuroki, but he can't quite finish off the kill. Kuro will survive. Look right down. Chalice wants to get in, but it's a bait. He can't get close to Kuro. Kuro's buddies have got his back saved. As Mind Control, Matuma Man and Miracle will punish Chalice for being baited in by that tasty, tasty check.
They made so much space. Look at Miracle's damage in that fight. He was just blinking into the tree lines constantly, throwing down marches, throwing down rockets over and over again. And just throw a Penitence on top of a Tinker throwing out those nukes. Everybody looks squishy.
That is
full Aghanim's.
That's, as you said, so much damage was being done before this. And now there's an Aghanim's.
Level 18 as well, so that level 3 rearm is in play.
This game certainly became a whole lot scarier for LGD, as it really does seem that Liquid are continuing this top-level play that they have been bringing back this tournament here at the Dota 2 Supermajor. And this fight, just all over the place here for LGD, as Matuma Man was allowed to have free reign, and as you say, Miracle constantly in the right position and not being caught out.
And them having this Aegis, right? If they didn't have this Aegis in this situation, Matu would be dead. Fight could be quite different here, but look at the damage. Penitence gets hit by one rocket, a second rocket, pretty much dead. Just from a couple more hits.
(20-12). 24 minutes in.
This has also been a lot because of the vision that Liquid's been able to assert because of having this early pressure that they've been doing. They had these deep wards down to be able to make those plays happen and watch LGD. So, of course, a couple of them got dewarded, but now they're right away. They have more. There's 2 more wards on Kuro, already emphasizing getting the vision up so they can look to keep taking those fights, trying to punish.
Instant jump in from Mind Control with the stun onto FY. They get the catch. Actually sweeping around, see if they can find anything else, but already Ame beginning to back off Kuro.
LGD is playing fully responsive Dota. They have not been able to play on the opposite side of the map because of this Tinker just constantly pushing in the waves. They have only gotten 1 tower on the side of PSG.LGD. Liquid just dictating the pace of this game continuously. How's the BKBs doing? Bloodseeker, 300 more. Queen of Pain's going to be going for Lincoln's a little bit more of a greedy build to make sure that she can keep trying to get that scale potential. But they are in quite a bit of trouble here now with the full AC on top of the Deso now for Matamba.
Has as well.
That is, I mean, it's 25 minutes in.
I mean, and we did see from PSG.LGD at the start, they did want to put pressure on Matuma Man's lane, and sure, we saw they slowed down his farming, but they were giving him kills.
Yeah, and he was getting solo experience in the lane too, because of Kuro being a Chen, of course. But that second BKB now for the Bloodseeker. See if they can try to punch back here versus Liquid, but over and over again, look at where the lanes are. every single one is pushed into just a bad spot where if they try to make some type of smoke play, Liquid will absolutely be aware of it.
One thing that is going to be interesting to see is how easy Liquid can break the high ground. And PSG.LGD do have very strong defense. But the Blood Right, the combo of FY on his Dark Willow, and as we talked about, the strength of the team fight that PSG.LGD do have when they're able to bring it together.
Yeah. Just the fears, I mean, we talked about it a lot and over again. Is this how good of a game it can be for this Lifestealer? It's really so much on the Bloodseeker to make sure that he gets shut down. But now there's also the Orchid that was picked up by Somnus a bit ago, so they can get the initial silence.
And they do. He doesn't get the rage out in time, and that's going to mean the Matuma Man, and he's not getting out of this one. The Sonic Wave from Somnus will finish him off. Not reacting quite quick enough there, Matuma Man.
Whew. As soon as I was saying it, too. Catches him right off guard. And he just purchased that AC, too, so they've got 45 seconds where they can try to push these lanes out and try to maybe get an objective, but it's still going to be quite hard versus Power Shot, versus Tinker. It's a big kill, though, that at least they can get.
A lot of money as well off that one kill. Going mainly the way of Somnus, of course. As he does climb closer and closer to being able to build significantly into the Lincoln Sphere.
I wonder if maybe they'll build something on Matuma Man to deal with that Orchid, or if he's just going to go straight for this heart. Because he has the heart queued up, but we've seen in the past, you know, the Manta or some type of thing to, like maybe even the Lincolns to protect himself. Because the Lincolns could have some pretty good counters, blocking the Rupture in some situations as well.
And is this something that we're sort of beginning to see a little more often now, taking the attack range on the Jakiro?
Yes, actually. I've been seeing that quite. Yeah. I saw it from DDC was doing it a couple of times when they were playing the Jakiro. Just been seeing, yeah, that 300 attack range.
I mean, it is a lot of attack range.
Sure.
It's, as we've seen, sort of getting the liquefier, especially if you can sort of get it down onto Matuma Man after each rage, can make it even harder for the Lifestealer really to stick around and get the damage out.
It at least lets you distance yourself, because, you know, if you're going to walk in and dual breath, especially versus this lineup, you're probably going to die right afterwards. So at least maybe you can throw out at least a Liquid Fire from a distance on top of your Ice Path and Macro Pyre. Look at top already. Liquid, they're looking for a fight.
They're prepared for this. Icebox does get laid down, mind control, will jump forward. He has got Matuma Man inside of him. Somnus blinking in as well. They've got the silence on to Doom, but outpots Matuma Man. Instant BKB from Army. He backs away from the damage being thrown out by Miracle. FY tried with the Shadow Realm hit onto Mind Control, but Mind Control's got the heal from the Scorched Earth. He gets out. And the two supports from PSG.LGD will not. X-Nova and FY just taking too much damage there, as Liquid were more than prepared for that push attempt to come out from PSG.LGD.
Just not giving them any room to try to get an objective. Every single time they are there to respond. And even look, the Chen creeps too. Kuro's microing them in the mid lane to make sure they don't even get any tower threat on mid. Down to 560 HP. Oh, look at that pickup. Very early.
An early upgraded bots.
Bots too. Looking to just keep fighting non-stop, stick on top of... They can do like a triple infest kind of in a way, right? Now it's an infested X-Hero, they can just bots in always. They tend to have the Chen creeps there with them, so he can, but he wants to make sure that he can be inside of all those fights.
And I like this as well from Somnus. He's changed his mind. The Linkers just goes for the straight BKB. So I mean, you saw how much damage was coming out from the Tinker. Sure, the Linkers is nice in terms of the Doom and the Disables, but if you want to stick around and fight, you have to have that BKB. And bottom lane Chalice, he'll pop it, but just look at the damage that Matuma Man's got that's going through it. He just chases him. I think about 4 hits there for the Lifestealer with that Deso AC just cuts through the Bloodseeker. Dame comes in with the wraparound. They do get the silence down onto Tinker, chasing him. Sonic Wave won't quite clip onto Miracle, and he gets sent back by Kuro. Kuro getting Miracle out back to safety. Somnus continues to try and fight with the BKB, looks towards GH, punching him down. GH will be able to get himself away there with the Rim Runner back towards the mid. Miracle's back in, bursts down Arme with that BKB now expended.
And that was the fight that LGD, they wanted to be able to try to take, right? They just bought the BKB on the Queen of Pain. They wanted to try to do something versus Liquid, but Liquid just always in the right place at the right time. 9K gold advantage.
This is getting a little out of hand for PSG.LGD.
Experience also about 10K. And they can now go high ground with this AC Deso build that Matamba does have.
No Arme for 40 seconds. 10 seconds at the least have X-Nova out to spam down and try and slow down this push. But look at the damage onto Chalice. He's pretty much dead. He has to get himself back to base. It's a good job that power shot didn't hit, as that with the Rockets would have finished him off. Chalice and FY getting all the way back into the fountain. The power of the Tinker, I mean, Miracle, he's hit all the item timings that he would hope for. It was a little slow to start, but he played the fights perfectly, had that involvement. And now at level 21, they've got the mid lane racks. How do you fight with this Tinker in the game?
It doesn't look good, Owen. Look at Miracle, just blinks in onto the high ground, gets sent back right away.
Oh.
Has to be a little bit careful of that for the next few times. Can get Yule sceptered, so has to just watch out for that. But again, over and over again, it's just all the lanes being shoved in from Liquid, and they're free to make whatever moves they want. PSG.LGD just completely on the back foot.
And into the pit they go again.
And it's going to die very fast.
Nothing that PSG.LGD can really do about this, as they can't even get to the pit quick enough to even have a look in before Liquid's able to claim the Aegis and the Cheese. The second Roche once again going their way, and straight towards the mid they'll move. Chalice, he's got to be careful. He might not even get a chance to get away. He has to pop that BKB. Has the sentry down. We'll see GH under the cover of his Glimmer Cape, and he's not messing around. A shackle shot would have meant his death there.
And Liquid's just ready to go. They can just look for kills. FY is able to find Miracle here on the left.
He is, and it's a lot of damage, a lot of balance, and Miracle's gone. Massive kill for FY. 800 gold going his way off the back of being able to solo pick off an incredibly farm core. He's got 6k net worth, Miracle's 18k, doesn't matter. It's a Dark Willow.
Having that Tinker ward, very fortunate. Maybe now they can try to claim this top tower. I say maybe, but look at Liquid. They're already saying no. They want to go look for this.
Let's go Mind Control confined with Matuma inside and a quick blink. Open wounds and a doom would spell the end for any of these heroes. And there we have, straight in onto Somnus immediately.
Oh my God.
And they'll get a second out of that as well.
But they can deny it? Oh, they
will.
even deny the tower.
Taking everything away from LGD on that top attempt that they came for with a push. FY, Shadow around to disjoint the shackle shot. Will continue to get chased, but he turns with the Yule Scepter to hold back one. Curse Crown down onto Mind Control as well. Should provide him the safety he needs to get out of there. Arme trying to poke at them, but Arme's got to be careful, as Liquid will happily take a fight if Arme gives it to him. Blinkers will be popped. Does allow Matuma to get in with the open wounds, and Arme just has to pop the BKB. Be very careful with his positioning. Curse Crown once again out onto Mind Control, but they don't want to take this fight without Somnus or X-Nova, as PSG.LGD back up to the high ground.
They just keep forcing these defensive BKBs. It just seems like they can never get the jump on the side of PSG.LGD. It's just Liquid running them down as a unit, and they don't really have an initiator on their side.
20 seconds without Somnus. As another push comes in. Last time Liquid got away with a full set of racks in the middle lane. We'll see if they can get away with just as much this time.
And they just blanket the Lifestealer with a bunch of marches. Has an Aegis as well on top two.
The tier 3 will start to back off now. Somnus is about to be back in the game, as BKB's actually popped by Chalice.
Chalice?
He tries. Woo-hoo-hoo, Chalice!
That was...
Physical damage does pierce BKB, my friend. You're not invincible, despite the tagline of your team.
Somnus gets in the back and kills a heart on the courier that was coming to Matu.
I mean, does it matter though? They've lost 2. They're jumping into the base. Liquid. There's the shackle shot onto Arme. Arme just gets cut down by the Doom. Somnus will jump forward. It's a nice Sonic Wave onto 4. Does allow him to kill off Miracle. But there's 3 dead on PSG.LGD. They're losing a second set of barracks, as FY has to try and get himself back to base. Shadow Realm still unavailable for 4 seconds, so he will get cut down as well by Matumba. Somnus is jumping in with the AoE Shadow Strike, but it's a second set of racks claimed by Liquid as the tips come out for Kuroki. As this looks to be coming very close to the end of game 1 in this best of 3. Liquid just moving on to the 3rd set of racks. PSG.LGD, they're holding on for now. They may have at least one more fight in them, but it may be at a time where their entire base is in shambles. There's Liquid jumping in, looking for the shackle. Somnus just get the silence onto GH, but again the Glimmer Cape's there. They've taken a 3rd melee rack. Chalice pops his BKB, trying to move forward. They have put the Ice Path down, and that will allow them to take at least the Aegis out of the hands of Matuma Man. Arme back in 10 seconds, as well as FY, but Matuma Man, he's going to be able to finish off the final piece of buildings before they're back up. Mind Control may pay with his life. He's got the BKB actually able to turn with the Doom down onto Chalice. And Chalice gets shot in the face. That's going to be GG. PSG.LGD, they tap out of game 1 as Liquid. They really do look to be on something else right now. Back onto top form, Liquid, on this upper bracket run and into this winners bracket final. Their game 1, it's looking like it's going to continue.
The power of Guro-chan. He took over this game, just walking from lane to lane, able to pressure, get all these objectives for his team to make space for Miracle, to get those boots travel. And I mean, I miss seeing Matamba Man playing Lifestealer. It was
It's
his best hero. It was his best hero
Yeah.
in my opinion. When he
it's
first
not
started doing this
green.
build, and it's not green.
It's not green.
But every time I've seen him do this type of build, if he can get away with getting that Armlet Deso really early on,
Yeah.
they're always able to just control the map. And it really was LGD just completely on the back foot for the majority of this game. They were not able to actually make any plays happen on the opposing side of the map because of this Tinker.
No. And the lane really worked out a dream for Matamba Man, as you say.
Yep.
He was able to get away with getting solo XP. Sure, at the start, he was getting a little less CS than the ideal, but I mean, FY was kind of handing him kills. He got about 3 out of that top lane. But there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Game 1 of this best of 3 going the way of Team Liquid. We'll see you guys very shortly, but for now, we'll pass you back to the panel.
Yes, indeed, we will see them very shortly as well, because Owen and Fob will be back for game number 2. Liquid take first blood in this series, though I'm sure Godsna has, and Black have plenty to talk about from game number 1. Gods, that was a good performance from Liquid, wasn't it? And classic kind of Matamba Man game.
He looked good. You know, you put him on one of his Matu heroes, one that I think people have forgotten a bit.
Yep.
With all the green heroes and the Lycans lately, but the Lifestealer just took over this game once he got rolling.
Yeah. Why was that?
It was a great Lifestealer game. There wasn't anything that countered him too hard on the other side. The Bloodseeker Rupture was the one thing that could cause him some problems, but I don't even think Lifestealer cares too much about that because he just stands still and he's got a Chen send back. So if he actually is in a bad spot, Chen's going to send him home.
Yeah, it was good. Alan, impressed with Liquid's display in game 1?
I think that was a great draft. I think it was great early game execution. 5 kills at the 10-minute mark on Chen. That's only the 15th time that's happened since TI5. Kuro moved around the map a lot less than we're used to seeing him in the early game on his Chen because he was securing that top lane from Matamba. But that's why I love first pick in this tournament. Those second phase picks, the Chen, after you see the support duo of the Jakiro and the Willow for the side of LGD, and then the Lifestealer was where I think Liquid really took control of that draft.
Yeah, and Black, we've been talking about the Bloodseeker the entire tournament, right? It didn't pop up on day 1, and then all of a sudden day 2, it was like the new thing. Everyone loved it, everyone knew it was good. It started getting played. It was getting 5th pick, then it moved up into the second phase. Now we've seen it first pick. Didn't look so good this time, though. Why was that?
I think it's because Liquid did not show the first pick Wind Ranger, right? They did not show a single core before Bloodseeker was shown. And I think if you have 3 strong cores that Bloodseeker can't really deal with by himself, the hero is not really a threat on the map. And on top of that, they didn't really have too many Harris heroes. Like Lifestealer will always be at full health pretty much. Mid lane, Quap can't really pressure a Tinker too much either. So you don't really get a bonus from your passive either. I feel like it was a combination of Liquid drafting really well against the Bloodseeker and LGD not drafting too well with it.
And also, it seemed quite passive, Alan, that Bloodseeker. It was often found stuck behind the tree, waiting for something to happen, waiting for teammates to come out. It just never felt like it was getting involved as much as we've seen.
We have seen the Bloodseeker run in the 3-position farming priority-wise before this tournament. Of course, was safe lane here.
Yeah.
But it's always had a favorable lane. And you could just see right off the bat that that Wind Ranger and Doom lane, it zoned Chalice out from the very beginning. GH actually spent very little time in that lane. He was moving around the map, helping his Tinker control runes against that Quap, trying to set up kills in the early game. And it was the Doom and the Bloodseeker. After you got that Doom off to a slight start, the heroes of Liquid were really never getting low in lane, so that Bloodseeker just couldn't approach the creep wave against the Doom.
A couple of other questionable picks for LGD, I guess. The Dark Willow, we haven't seen it in this tournament at all. It didn't look terrible, but it wasn't always very effective either, was it?
Yeah, I liked how active FY was. I think he had the right idea, but he actually fed away a few kills top, which hurt them a lot because Gyrocopter was actually crushing Lifestealer in CS, but then FY just goes and dies twice, and those kind of deaths were kind of inexcusable in some ways. Like, they definitely could have been avoided. It was just him Shadow Realming in, and then Lifestealer pops his Rage, so you're not going to get that bonus magic damage, and suddenly FY's ran in, his Shadow Realm's wearing off. Oh, well, I'm in the middle of 2 enemy heroes, so.
Yeah.
A big reason for that is probably because he played it a lot in pubs, and then it's probably his first time in like a serious, real game. Has he played it before?
I believe so, yeah.
He has played it before in competitive Dota, but not for a little while.
There's a wry little smile on the tip of
I mean,
man's
both
face.
Xnova and FY have played it. FY's 3-1 coming into this game.
Well, then maybe he just had like a bad game.
I do have to give a shot. Maybe played that mid lane really, really well. On the
He
Queen of
actually
Pain.
beat the Tinker.
Yeah, he was up 31-21 in last hits at the 6-minute mark on that Miracle Tinker in a matchup that is not always Quap favored. So I think I like the confidence of LGD last picking that Queen of Pain, a hero that they believe in on maybe, but unfortunately the other two lanes just didn't go their way.
Yeah, 17th game of the tournament for Bloodseeker. First time it's ended up with no kills on the board. Under the
damage.
guidance
Below
of
7K hero
Chalice.
damage?
And the damage, 6.9k. That's just not enough from a Bloodseeker, is it?
He offered nothing this game. It was definitely a dud pick. I think partly also because I didn't like the gyro pick at all. It gives you very weak lanes. And what happened is LGD tried to play around the gyro, give him this really good game, but that means Bloodseeker is struggling because once you pick this second weak laning hero, Bloodseeker's not a weak laning hero, but he's in the tough lane. You pick an offlane hero, you need to pick something that's going to crush the lane and be left alone. Gyro always needs help there. The second he got left alone, FY ganks mid, Chen kills Gyro. So I think you can't have this weak laning hero when you've got Gyro on your team.
Yeah, very tough game for LGD all round, lane-wise and everything else. MVP for you, Black? Who would you pick out? Would it be Matumba Man?
Yeah.
On the lifestyle
Core player.
No, he was just way too good, dude. You know it.
I think Kuro deserves a little bit of a shout out, but
I mean, yeah, for sure, Kuro won the lanes until minute 5, but when Matu got a chance to take over, he got caught out once. That was pretty much the only mistake he's done. He was diving wait, he's there somewhere.
Yeah, no, he's there. He's underneath the blue.
He's there.
It's got a little bit too arty there with the blue over the top of his face. He is under there, trust me. MVP for this one is Matumba Man.
Yeah. Never to be stopped, that game.
Yeah, fantastic game. As you said, guys, good game for the lifesteal, but you need someone to deliver at the same time.
Yeah. Absolutely. He did the right build. Love seeing him go in the Armor Deso build. A bit of a throwback to the time before these silly Radiance builds. And he played fantastic.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, all three of you. Time for a break for us. When we come back, then we'll see whether Liquid can advance to the grand final at the expense of one of the in-form teams right now, or whether LGD on home soil with the pressure and the love of the crowd can bounce back. We'll see you soon.
I don't wanna play this game. Every time I hear your name, so good, so good, so good. It's something that I can't explain. I don't wanna play this game. Every time I hear your name, so good, so good, so good.